Welcome back, everyone. I am Bob Mastriani, and today we're diving into the world of real estate. Going inside this building can make you so much money in real estate, but for some reason, people are afraid to go inside and don't know what to do. So, I'm going to take you down the path of how we can go inside the municipal services building, specifically in the surrogate's office, to find probate leads and to buy properties in real estate related to probate sales. So first, let's start off with exactly what is probate. Probate is the legal process which a deceased person's will is validated and their assets are distributed according to the will or the state law if there is no will. Essentially, what that means is they're going to identify a deceased person's property and all of their assets. We're going to pay off their debts and their taxes, and then we're going to go through the legal process of distributing all of those assets to the rightful heirs. What does this mean for you as a real estate investor? What this means for you as a real estate investor is that you are assisting people who may have inherited a property that they do not want or they do not know what to do with, and you have the ability to help them through the process, buy that property from them, and then create that as a real estate investment. Much of the information that I'm going to give you is free information where you can utilize free resources to gather this information. But hang on till the end because I'm going to give you a few bonus tips and also offer you a great download that can help you through the process. So I want to back up a little bit and talk about the first time I ever went to a probate office. At the time, I was working in partnership with another real estate investor whose specific role was to buy properties, fix and flip those properties and resell them. So he ran a fix and flip operation. I was partnered with him on many opportunities, and we began to focus on probate sales, probate properties as a source of lead generation. At the time, I had never dealt with probate leads. I had never gone through the process, and I needed him to kind of guide me through. And I'm going to guide you through the process that we took and the steps that we made in order to buy 1 to 3 properties every quarter. So that can be anywhere between 4 or 5 and even up to 12 properties per year just by following these easy steps to identify leads. So I had no experience with probate leads and I needed his assistance. And our first step was before we even made it to the surrogate's office, we had to prepare. And some of the ways that we want to prepare is first is to know exactly what we're looking for. We had specific property criteria that we were interested in. And more importantly, we had specific criteria that we were not interested. So we made sure to have an understanding of what we were looking for. The second is, and I know this is going to sound kind of simple, but you need to bring something to jot the information down. When you go to the surrogate's office and the probate office, they will essentially allow you to look at their computer for as long as you want. And you can gather as much information as you want. But in most cases, in most counties, you don't have the ability to print out that information. You don't have the ability to email that information to yourself, or you don't have the ability to access it outside of that computer. So you're going to need some place to notate. What I did personally was I brought a laptop with me and I created an Excel sheet and I documented all of the information that I needed in that Excel sheet. So the next step is to actually go to the probate office. So here's what that experience looked like for me. We went to the probate office. It was my partner and I. He was showing me around, walked in, walked up to the counter, asked the woman there for assistance, and she was more than happy to help out. This was interesting for me because, quite frankly, I wasn't sure, is this legit? Is this something that is frowned upon? And so they gave us a little note and they said, okay, fill out this paper. It was just a little 3x5 paper. And you just need to write down your name, the time that you're here, and the reason that you're here. So I write down my name, I write down the time, and I look over to my partner and I say, okay, what do we put for reason? And he said, real estate. And I said, oh, we can put that? And he said, yeah, everything that we're doing here is legal. It's all public information. So we wrote down real estate and the lady said, come back with me. She brought us to the back where there was a table set up and the table had 3 computers set at it. And she said, at each one of these computers, you have the ability to log in. Here's the login information. And you can see a list of all of the probate that has been issued through our county. It was essentially a search engine. You go through the search engine, you put your dates in, you could sort of narrow down your fields if you wanted to, you can narrow down your areas, but we just did a wide range search. What you'll want to do is you'll want to look at probates that are no older than probably about 3 to 6 months old. What we did in our first visit was we actually pulled everything for the last 2 months. And then moving forward, we created a steady routine where we went to the probate office every 2 weeks. And now we had a much shorter list to pull up. While you're tracking these leads, you're going to want to be able to organize them, and you're going to want to gather as much information as you can. First of all, you're going to want the name of the deceased person. You're going to want to know if they own real estate. This is a really important thing, right? Do they own real estate? If they don't own real estate, I'm here to purchase real estate. If they don't own real estate, we move on to the next one. So we're going to want the address of the property. And then we're also going to want to know who the executor or executrix of the estate are. So who's in charge of the estate? One thing to note is that oftentimes you will actually see someone who declined executorship, but their name and information is in there also. So look for that notation if someone has actually declined executorship, and then you're going to want to go on to the next person that's listed there. Now we're going to want to verify that there is a property and that this person owned a property. What I would do is I would do a search, and I would come to my computer outside of the surrogate office computer and do an actual search of that person's name, that person's address, and just do a public record search under taxes. So if you pull up the tax department search record and that address matches the name of the person, then we have a match. Next, you want to organize those leads. So not all leads are created equal. Some leads are in value areas and some leads are in low value areas. And you want to make sure that you know the difference between where all of those properties are and sort of have a good organization of how they work. The last thing you're going to want to notate is all of the contact information of the executor of the estate. Who is now in charge of that estate? Who has inherited that property, or who's in charge of the responsibility for that property? And then we want to reach out to them. So that's normally going to list their name and an address where they can be contacted. And then from there, the final step is to contact that person. Let them know that you're looking to buy properties. You're looking to buy properties in the area. You're a local real estate investor. And we can do that by several different ways. And hang on a little bit and I'll give you a few of those different ways. And then the final step is continuous follow-up. Continue to follow up month after month after month. Oftentimes people inherit a property and they don't know what to do with it. And it may take them a few months to sort of get their affairs in order and to get things to the point where they actually want to sell the property. So just because you reached out one time and you don't hear anything back from them, it does not mean that it's not a possible lead. Our schedule was to reach out in month 1, month 2, month 3. So boom, 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 and then wait until month 6. And then again at month 12. And that seemed to bring us really good results. So that public information has given you everything you need to start the process. You can send letter campaigns because you know the actual address of the person who's in charge of the estate. And these are free ways. So if you're someone who's just starting out in real estate and you have time, but you don't have a lot of money, this is a free way to get yourself started. Very low cost because you're just going to send letter mails to reach out to them. Maybe you can send postcards or something low cost. If you have some money and are looking for ways to sort of rocket boost it, I'm going to give you some additional bonus tips right now. Tip number 1 is that you can skip trace the executor. So skip tracing the executor means that you're going to get any public information that these skip tracing services can find on that person, which includes things like email addresses, cell phone numbers, potential ways that you can reach out to them other than mail campaigns. It may be an additional address or something that they have. So this allows us to now start calling on them, sending text messages, maybe email messages. There are services that charge you per name that you're pulling, and that's a good way to have additional ways to reach out to them. Next bonus tip is to start hiring somebody. Okay. In the very beginning, I went to the probate office. I went to the surrogate's office every other week with my little notepad, with my laptop, and I made these lists. Then I brought in an administrative person. So maybe you can bring in an administrative person or an intern or someone who is doing these administrative tasks for you, and they can go there every month. Bonus tip number 3. If you want to outsource all of this, there are actually companies out there that do exactly this. And in a moment, I'm going to tell you why you may or may not want to utilize them. These companies pay someone to do exactly what you're saying. Okay. I've been at the surrogate's office where I saw someone come in who was doing the exact same thing as me. And I asked the question, hey, what are you doing here? And he said, I pull all these leads, I create an Excel sheet, and I sell it to a lot of investors around your county. So there's good and bad to that. One is that it's saving you time. You're getting all of the leads. Those leads are also distributed to other people. So, you may be able to be a little bit faster than them. You may be able to be ahead of them. Another quick tip is that when I spoke with that gentleman, I asked him what his process was. And he said that he goes right down the list, and anywhere that the little box is checked that says owns real estate, he pulls those leads in. One of the things that I learned is by following my process, I didn't just rely on someone at the county level to check the appropriate box. And that actually gave me more leads. That specific day, I left there with about 15 more leads than he did, because he was only looking at those where the box was checked that real estate is owned. You're sort of relying on someone from the county to make the right decision there. And the final tip I'll give you is that if you could become really good at this, maybe you can even create your own business around going to different counties, writing down all of the probate and selling those probate leads. That may be a really great opportunity for you. As I continue to expand, I started to move to different counties. So I went to the first county that we were working in, and then I started to go to the adjoining counties. Okay, what's the next county over in each direction? And is anyone working in those counties? If you found value in this, please make sure to check the link out where I'm going to give you a free PDF that lays down all of these steps in a quick, easy, and concise method. I hope you found a ton of value out of this. Please make sure to like and subscribe and go out there, find those probate leads, and make it a great day.